Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Golden Wind Geekout. I'm your host, Danny. Got my co-host, Ryan.
Hi.
And, yep, let's try and talk about episode 28, Beneath the Sky on the Verge of Falling.
The key word
My,
being try.
my god, man. It's like, to any anime-only watchers who are major fans of Abakio, trust me, you are in our thoughts right
We we
now.
are we are
Because
we are so sorry.
No, because I mean, seriously, like, even like on Twitter, everybody that, that I follow that, has read the manga and everything, like, pretty much everyone was really dreading this episode. Like, even like the Twitter account, like, what is it? I forgot what the Twitter name is exactly. But it's pretty much like the Japanese Twitter account specifically for the JoJo anime. And usually, like a day or two before the episode airs, they tweet out saying, okay, next episode at this time, such and so forth. And they usually provide like a screenshot. And we usually see maybe 2 or 3 screenshots from the upcoming episode before it airs. It's a bad sign when the only picture that we truly got from this entire episode was that fucking scene of the clouds.
Yeah, just from that alone, a lot of people, including ourselves who initially read the manga, they knew what was going. No, hell, even before that, like at the moment the Metallica fight ended, every person who read the manga knew what was going to happen. And that image that Twitter account posted further proved what was happening during this episode.
Yeah, so it's like you already know something bad is gonna happen. Like, even when King Crimson was initially introduced and we saw like what happened to Bruno, where he got fisted, he got a hand chopped into his chest, and he had all this horrible shit happen to him. But nope, they still provided screenshots, to tease us for that episode, but not this one. So
No.
it's like, god damn, man. I mean, it's like, we all knew this was coming. And even if you weren't like, even if Abakio wasn't your favorite character, you still are just like, oh, I'm not looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah, especially seeing as how, like, even though Abakio wasn't, like, as big as characters, like, say, Bruno or Giorno, for that matter, he still played a very vital role, like, throughout this entire part, like, until this point. Like, he still had a
Yeah.
pretty big role, so it's like, you can't just look at Abakio and just be like, oh, he's just some typical minor character or anything. It's like, I mean, yeah, he wasn't he didn't have, like, a major role as, like, the other main characters and such, but he still played a really big role to the point where it's like, you cannot, not notice him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let alone just take this into account. Golden Wind is supposed to have 39 episodes. With 28 episodes in is when we have our first major character death. Because all the other deaths that we've had prior to this, they've all been the enemies. Yeah, this is like the first, like, really, really big one. And it's like, 28 episodes into a 39 episode count, and it's like, oh, shit. Our heroes are now starting to bite it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's where it's like, oh yeah, I mean, we weren't kidding when we were saying about how it's just gonna get darker and everything from here on out, and, sure enough.
Yeah, and sure
Yeah.
enough, we get this bombshell.
And also, bear in mind that it's like, it's like, yeah, and also it's like, how infuriating it is this to see, because, like, Risotto Nero came so close to killing off the boss. So dangerously close. Like, yeah, if Doppio did not find that frog to start eating it and, to basically get some of his nutrients back and shit, yeah, it's the boss could have been killed right here and now. So it's like, to have come so close to actually killing him off, and then just literally by pure luck, he manages to recover and kill off Abakio. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, that's like, if Doppio did not find that frog, Abakio would be alive. No doubt about it.
It's like that, or if Naranja's timing could have been a little bit later, then Risotto more than likely would have had the opportunity to actually kill the boss right then and there.
Well, I don't even know about that, because bear in mind, like, because even like when, even when he tried it again, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. I know I'm done, but I'm taking you with me. It was like, that was really the first time that, he actually brought out King Crimson. Because bear in mind, the majority of the time, like, throughout that fight, like, yeah, he was primarily using Epitaph, and the only time he was really using King Crimson was maybe, like, using, like, his arms to, like, maybe, like, try and, like, deflect some of the shit that was being thrown at him. Yeah. He wasn't actually using the time erasing ability until now. So, I mean, there's no way Risotto Nero could have... He would not have been able to prepare himself for that, because he wouldn't have known about that ability. All he figured out was... okay, this guy's probably got some precognition, but that's about it. He didn't know about the time erasing stuff. So that's where it's like, yeah, Nero was doomed regardless.
Right.
But, oh my god. So it's like, so yeah, bye-bye, Risotto Nero. It was nice knowing you. Nice knowing you, La Squadra. But, pretty much, yeah, this entire episode was solely dedicated to Abakio's death here, which, like I said last week, I was really hoping that was going to be the case, because I was like, please do not rush this and, like, start moving into, like, our next fight. I really wanted, I wanted this to have all the time that it needed, and, thank you, David Production, for actually sticking with that. So it's very likely that probably the next episode is when we're going to be getting, probably, I would say maybe even like the end of the next episode is probably when the next fight's going to start.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I could definitely see that.
Alrighty. But yeah, it's like, alright, so I think suffice to say now, it's like, yeah, let's just talk about Abakio here, because, oh my god, there is a lot to talk about with how this whole moment was handled.
Oh,
I'm not ready.
Okay, alright, you did, alright, great job.
Oh
no! Oh! So sudden! What the fuck?
Oh my god!
Ah!
What is with this animation and the fisting? Seriously, first Bruno and now Abakio! You got like amazing animation when they got fisted. What the fuck?
Oh, Moody Blues!
My god, like the animation for when King Crimson actually killed him. I was like, seriously, David Production, why is it that you're putting the budgets into the fistings? Because seriously, it's like, we got like some pretty damn good graphic animation for when Bruno got fisted before, and then it's like, and then Abakio gets fisted, and it's like, good lord, it's like he got even more attention. Like, it was like with Bruno, yeah, you saw the fist go through, but that was it. But meanwhile, with Abakio, we see the hand go through, we see him literally rip it out, and you're actually seeing, like, Abakio's body reacting to it. Like, you're literally seeing, like, him, like, kind of, like, whipping around and everything, like, when he's, like, pulling his hand out. It's like, god damn it, man. It's like, they really they animated the moment really well. But it's like, really honestly, I think, like, what everybody really remembers, if anything, is not so much, like, the actual death itself, so much as, everything else around it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like when we saw the moment when the boss was pretty much killed Abakio by like punching right through him, and then we get like numerous shots of like the facial expressions of both the boss and Abakio or whatever. It actually reminded me of like the moment like during the opening when okay, it's close to the end of the opening and we get a better glimpse of like a King Crimson and he's like whipping out his punches and all of that. It and looking at that moment in the opening and then the animation style during that scene, it felt like they pretty much reused that exact same animation style too. I can only imagine they use that to give more of like an impact. Seeing as how the scene we're talking about here is literally like the boss often like probably like one of the better characters to come out of Passione.
Right. And let alone like I have to double check this with the manga because it's like when we actually had that moment where King Crimson punched through Bakio. It was like we see that okay he punched through him. We get the shot of like where you see the boss turn around and says luck is on my side, and it's like yeah the next shot that we see is Bakio when he's like sitting down and we see Moody Blues beginning to crumble. I don't think like that brief little moment beforehand where you see like you get like the close up to Abakio's eyes. I don't think that was in the manga. I could be I could be wrong here, but I'm gonna double check anyway. But I don't believe that's the case because it's like yeah, because I mean, it's like you look at that, and it's like you look at like Abakio, you see he's clearly staring at something, so it's very possible that he was staring the boss in the face, and then yeah, his eyes lose all color, and he droops down and dies.
Yeah, on top, yeah, and then lets Moody Blue is just laying on a rock. Yeah, his entire body loses color and it ends up cracking apart. As if he was slowly becoming part of that stone that he was laying on. It further emphasizing that okay, Abakio's done. Just from that one punch alone, he is done.
Right. So then we get the scene where he meets up with his partner, and it's like I really like I personally like how the majority of this scene, like when they were just talking, it's yeah, I mean it's practically in black and white. There is no color whatsoever, and the color does not come in until like Abakio realizes who he's talking to, and his partner tells him, you did very well. I'm proud of you for what you've done. And it's like, that's when the color started. That was when the color came in. And it was like, oh my God, like the tears in Abakio's eyes when he realized who he was talking to. It was like, oh my God, like give this man a hug and a cookie now, please.
Oh my God. It's like the interaction with Abakio and his partner was just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how freaking emotional this whole scene, like this entire scene was. Because it's like, yeah, there was more. It's like the symbol, like more symbolism that they end up using for this. It's like, yeah, not only it's like oh jeez, I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, yeah, we get the color back. The moment Abakio is so like begins to completely realize that he's not just talking with his partner anymore. He's talking to his partner pretty much in the afterlife. Seeing as how his partner was pretty much telling him, "No, you cannot return to your comrades. This is the end of the line. You did your best. I'm proud of you." All that stuff. Yeah, the color comes back, but we also get the shine of sunshine like raining down on Abakio's partner, further emphasizing, oh, this isn't just his partner. We're talking to Abakio's partner's spirit, showing that oh, he's in the afterlife right now. Here we were thinking, here we are thinking that David Productions just squeezed in, a little flashback on how Abakio met his partner, before we get to the really, really sad stuff. Oh no, that's, it's a complete 180 and it didn't turn out what people were expecting it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like like you bring up like when the color came in with the light shining and everything. I mean, it was like it's like of course that's freaking symbolic because it's like this is the time like like finally Abakio like it's like finally the light shines on him because it's like the whole point behind when his partner got killed it's like as we saw in all the way back at the beginning of the series was when we saw where after that happened, that was pretty much the end of Abakio right then and there. He was discharged. He was living in guilt. He was swimming in alcohol. He ended up joining the gang. So it's like he really this is a kind of character where it's like he really did fall from grace, really, and pretty much was kind of like wallowing in himself because of what happened. So it's like, this is like the time where it's like, okay, his partner held no ill will towards him whatsoever. So that's where it's like, it's like finally this guy gets a little bit of light shined into his life, even if it's the afterlife.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I think I think Caesar's been surpassed now. Oh my god, this is so hard to watch.
これは命令だならんちゃ。アバッキオも覚悟の上、ここに来たのだ。出発する。待って、ブザーティ。
So then we get to the scene where everybody finds him, and this was where I was like, for the love of God, Narancia, you have got to sell this fucking scene. Because, I mean, it's like, that's really, like, I mean, everybody says a word, but really, this was Narancia that, selling this scene pretty much fell solely on him, just when it came to the voice performance.
And suffice it to say, in regards to voice performances by Narancia's voice actor, oh god, he nailed it. Like seriously, like from beginning to end, you cannot help but feel torn by how Narancia was feeling throughout this whole thing. Hell, even on top of how everybody else is feeling with Giorno, Mista, and Bruno, but mostly Narancia, considering how he was acting throughout the whole thing. Oh my god, it was seriously heart-wrenching.
Yeah, well, because it's like, because Narancia's emotions, I mean, he is the one guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve. So, of course, he is going to be very vocal. So it's like, at first he was just like, oh, come on, Giorno, quit screwing around, heal him. And then, like, when Bruno's saying, hey, we gotta go, Mista's staying silent the whole time. And it's like, now Mista's, not Mista, Narancia is going like, okay, come on, guys, this isn't funny anymore. Then it's like, then it goes into like, then he's like screaming at Giorno saying, dude, you're not trying hard enough. Bring him back, god damn it. It's like, he goes from like disbelief to, okay, come on, this is probably just an elaborate joke, to anger, and then finally he realizes what's going on. And it's like, then that's really when he like breaks down and cries. So it's like, Narancia, because in such a short amount of time, he goes through so many emotions. So it's like, it's not like, okay, we just have one emotion and we got to settle on it. No, Narancia goes through like 3 or 4 in the span of a few minutes. Whereas like, Mista stays silent the whole time. Bruno, while visibly upset, he's like, look, it's my responsibility. I gotta keep everybody focused. We have to move forward. Giorno's visibly upset. He's trying desperately not to break down and cry.
Yeah.
So it's like they all have like their own little thing, but it's like, yeah, again, Narancia goes through multiple emotions in a short amount of time, and I can only imagine how difficult that must be to be able to perform. So it's like, my God, please do well on this one, because I know some people have had, like, from what I've seen, like, some fans, when it comes to criticisms with the voice acting, a lot of people I've noticed, they've probably grown into it now, but Narancia's voice performance seemed to have gotten the most criticism, and I just think it's because people aren't used to, they aren't used to Narancia not sounding like a girl. That's kind of the impression that I get. But I think, suffice it to say, by now, this actor has definitely proven himself.
Oh, he really has. If people weren't convinced that this voice actor for Narancia wasn't good enough, it's like there is no doubt that I can only assume that a lot of people were convinced that they were really convinced by how great he performed in this scene.
Right. And it's like, and again, it's not even just the voice performance, it's also the animation. Because it's like, again, like, it's like, okay, Narancia hijacked the animation budget again. Because it's like, take a look at, like, what's going on, with Narancia, like, like, the various movements, like, where you see, he tries to grab Mista from behind, like, trying to shake him. That doesn't work. Giorno tells him it's time to move on. So what does he do? He runs to Giorno, grabs him, starts shaking him, even tries to punch him. Mista holds him back. It's like, yeah, it's like a lot of the animation really, again, it went to Narancia. Because it's like, okay, because not only is he going through so many emotions, of course, like, you gotta do, like, you got to do the proper motions with it, too. So it's like, my God, man.
No, seriously. Yeah, it's like, oh my God. Sorry. Jeez.
Oh, no. I mean, it's like, I mean, that's like when we were watching it, that's like, I was sitting here the whole time, like, my hands covering my mouth, just going like, oh my God, what the hell? Because I was totally invested in Narancia, and I was just like, oh my God, holy shit, this is like freaking crazy. And it was like, and Ryan, I think you were actually crying. You got so caught up into it and everything. So it was like, mission fucking accomplished, David Production.
No, people. Danny is not over exaggerating when she said that. I mean, this correlates to something that I said about the entirety of this scene. It's like the first moment with Abakio talking with his partner and then realizing he was in the afterlife, trying to be at peace with what was going on, and his partner telling him, okay, I'm proud of you and all that stuff. It's like, at that point, it's like I could feel like the emotions or whatever just slowly starting to build up. And then throughout this entire setup with Narancia like freaking out and going through all these emotions himself, on top of Giorno like trying not to break down, Bruno also doing what he can to not show that he's upset, and Mista trying to keep his cool or whatever. That pretty much did it. It's like, I'm still thinking about Narancia, like, just grabbing onto Mista, saying we need to help Abakio, and then Narancia like grabbing Giorno, telling him you gotta heal him and all that such, like still thinking that, okay, Abakio can be saved, and then the realization comes in when the clouds break and the sun shines on Abakio, and at that moment,
yeah. Oh, that's like what gets me, especially after this, when you think about it. Like when you listen to Narancha where he's talking and he's screaming at Bruno, it kind of it's like a freaking twist on what Abakio was saying like all the way back during the Man in the Mirror fight. Because if you remember, Otabakio during the Man in the Mirror fight, what he was telling Giorno was, if something was to happen to me, if I was in Fugo's position, if something was to happen to me, I would want you to leave me behind and continue the mission. I don't want you to stay behind and, try to help me. The mission comes first. So then it's like, you look at this scene and it's like, oh my God, you get Narancha screaming saying, we can't leave him behind. I don't want to leave him. And it's like, are we really just going to move forward and leave him behind? And it's like, oh my God, man. It's like, it just goes right back to that. It's like, it's just, oh my God, it's just so fucking sad. It was like, God damn it, man. It's like, again, this is Narancha's, this is all Narancha's performance here. So it's like, God damn it, man. Like, God damn it. Yeah, it's like, this actor really hit this one out of the park.
Oh yeah, he absolutely totally did. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, okay, so I guess now this kind of begs this question, because with all the character deaths, like, I know prior to this episode, Ryan, both you and I pretty much agreed, like, with all the deaths that we had seen so far in JoJo, the one that really got us the most was Caesar from Back in Battle Tendency. So I guess now the question, possibly a stupid one, but might as well ask for the audience sake. Would you say Caesar's death is more sad or Abakio's?
Okay. Well, here I was thinking there is no way that I could easily compare the two because they were powerful and emotional in their own way. And yeah, that may be true, but here's the thing with the moment when Caesar dies in Battle Tendency. Okay, yes, there was a lot of symbolism. Yes, there was some denial. And then Joseph and Lisa embraced the fact, or accepted the fact that, okay, Caesar's gone. We have to press forward. Only to find out that the Caesar's death place was literally right before their eyes. At that stone cross or whatever, or that rock in the shape of a cross. Okay, yeah. That's powerful stuff. Like, it pretty much gets me every time. Considering how both Lisa and Joseph break down after realizing this. After all the time that they were accepting, okay, Caesar's gone, we have to move on and be strong for Caesar. Only for that to happen. Yeah, all of that really powerful stuff. But considering all that has happened, shortly after Abakio was killed, and then during the moment when Bruno and the rest of the gang find Abakio dead and such, with Abakio's interaction with his partner, the symbolism shown at that moment, and Narancha's voice performance from beginning to end, and all the signs of the characters, like, either trying so hard not to break down or try to keep their cool, I gotta say, I think it's safe to say Abakio's death was probably, like, the saddest moment in JoJo history. Like, this, like, seriously, I honestly didn't think there would be a death scene in the anime adaptation of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that could top Caesar's, but here we go. I honestly think that the way that they handled Abakio's death throughout this entire episode, it was done the best. And I have not felt this emotional about a freaking JoJo episode in God knows how long. So that alone should tell you, like, how powerful this scene is.
Yeah. Oh, and I agree completely. Because it's like, in Phantom Blood, the character deaths, whatever.
Yeah, the deaths in Phantom Blood, it's like, don't get me wrong, they were sad, but I don't know. It's like they didn't have as much impact as like later deaths that we would end up seeing,
Oh,
in later parts.
well, that's like, the only character death I would even say in Phantom Blood that even comes remotely close to even being remotely sad, honestly, is Jonathan's. Because it was
Yeah,
like,
my thoughts exactly.
everyone else, I was just like, whatever. So then, yeah, we get to a battle tendency, and I mean, yeah, I agree completely. It was like, with Caesar's death, it was like, to have fought so valiantly and only to fall like that is pretty goddamn hard. But it was like, yeah, had that blood not crept out from that rock, I mean, Joseph and Lisa, they probably would have just left and, be like, all determined and shit, and like not even so much as like shed a goddamn tear. But I think because they see the blood, that's really when the realization truly hit them. And, and again, this also goes into the voice performance. Like, not just in the Japanese version, but I would say even in the dub too, managed to do it very well. So, a lot of that emotion again really came from the performances a lot.
Yeah,
And,
pretty much.
Yeah. So then we go into Stardust Crusaders, where the deaths for me, they had me more screaming in anger. More so just because it's like, Dio, I get that you're a villain, but stop killing everybody, you son of a bitch!
Yes, I had similar feelings with certain deaths in Stardust Crusaders, especially like Kakui's and hell, even Joseph's, when we supposedly thought he died. However, I will say, I think the one death that got me rather emotional was what was it, near the end of the Vanilla Ice fight, and we see Iggy go after Iggy used whatever energy he had left to save Polnareff, and then sometime later, Polnareff takes out Vanilla Ice, and then Polnareff sees, the clouds forming Iggy and Avdol as if they were finally put to rest and they're heading off to the heavens, and Polnareff is freaking out at first, and then he's like, okay, I can't shed tears or more now, I need to go up those stairs to fight Dio, only for him to break down in tears because he's trying so hard not to break down. That also got me a bit. But I think out of all the deaths in Stardust Crusaders, that was probably like the one death that got me on an emotional level.
Yeah, because Avdol, I was like, don't get me wrong, Avdol's all right, but it was just, considering that he was, kind of out of the story through like half of it, I didn't feel nearly as invested. So when he died, I was just like, oh well, I've seen it.
Yeah, really. It's like we pretty much already got an instance of Avdol dying, when we first ran into Whole Horse. Only for him to be like, surprise, no, I'm still alive, and then he ends up getting killed for real.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not feeling it.
Yeah,
and
not feeling it.
And then when Iggy died, again, it's like a very noble and valiant death, but it's also like, God damn it, Araki, you killed the dog. You killed off another dog. Let alone you killed off the good dog. Come on,
the most important dog to ever make an appearance in JoJo history.
Like, you kill the best dog in the goddamn franchise. Come on. It's like, and then Kakyoin dies. And I'm like, oh my god, stop! Just fucking stop! And then Joseph goes down. It's like, God fucking damn it! Like that was literally my reaction. I was just screaming more so out of anger, not necessarily out of sadness. And then it's like Stardust Crusaders. Honestly, I felt nothing. Like, Shigechi did not really care for that kid, so even though they were hamming it up, I'm just like, oh, I was never really interested in that character, so I really don't care that he died. When Aya died, it was like, oh, okay, we got her for one episode. That sucks. And then it's like, and again, had the way that, bites the dust happened. So I was like, yeah, it was shocking to see Rohan die, but then when you realize, oh, you're rewinding and you just see him die like 3 fucking times, it's just like, by the time you get to like that second or third time, it's just like, oh god, come on.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, so I really was not emotional with any of the deaths from Diamond is Unbreakable.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, part five gets the emotional deaths. And then, at least from my personal experience, I really didn't get a whole lot of emotional. I got emotionally invested in one death in Stone Ocean, and that's about it. Steel Ball Run towards the end, definitely, and I can't really say anything from Jolien because as of right now, no one truly important has really died in JoJolion. Right now, it's been just enemy stands and shit. Like, it's the enemies that have been going down. We haven't had a major character death come in yet. And it's like, someone's got to go down eventually. So It's just like, so yeah, so again, this is at least just my personal experience. So that's like, yeah, part 5 for me really was like the last time, like, I really felt like, oh my god, truly heartbroken over character deaths.
Yeah, really. It's like, yeah, going back to like how it would feel if, we were going on about like the character deaths and Diamond is Unbreakable. Yeah, it's like, oh man. I mean, yeah, granted, there like some deaths were a bit disheartening, but no, I agree. They never got me on an emotional level. But I think for me, it's like, considering that I noticed like Diamond is Unbreakable is all just one massive murder mystery and such. I think just from that alone, it's like, okay, I know, I'm fairly certain there's gonna be like quite a few deaths around this whole thing because we have a mass murder on the loose. So so it's kind of to be expected in a way. Not so much with Golden Wind in this case, because it's like, yeah, we know like some characters, they have a rather interesting interaction with the boss, yeah, no doubt. But what will happen when stuff like that does happen? No one knows. Like, again, I would not. This is why I'm thinking, okay, there is no way like the anime only watchers would ever truly realize that Abakio was gonna be, taken out of the picture in this episode, even though they're dealing with, trying to find the boss and such.
Right. And, again, if we can go back to comparing this death to Caesar's, and it's like, and yeah, where Abakio's, definitely outshined Caesar's. Because it was like, again, like, yeah, Caesar had a valiant death. I mean, he fought Wamu, very valiantly. Abakio didn't have that. No, there was no battle or anything where he really risked his life or anything. I mean, it was just, he let his guard down for 1 second when no one else was around, and that was the window of opportunity that the boss was waiting for, and he took it. So it's like, there was no epic battle or anything that preceded this, so already you're in shock. The fact that we got, Abakio talking with his partner, we don't even get anything like that with Caesar. Like, yeah, we got the backstory behind Caesar where, how he was very hateful towards his father before he realized the truth. But, I mean, we didn't even get a moment where even in the afterlife, maybe he reconciled with his dad or something, like face to face. We didn't get anything like that. And as I mentioned before, as emotional as it was, to Joseph and Lisa's credit, at least they didn't see the body. It's like, this was a full-on fucking display here. So that's where it's like, that's also, I think, even more tragic. And it's like, the one heroic moment that Abakio does have, is the fact that he did get the replay, and Moody Blues literally used the last of its strength to slam itself into that pillar, just so that they could see, okay, I got it. This is what he looks like. And he left them the one last clue. So that's the one heroic moment that he had. But so it's like, okay, so it wasn't completely worthless,
Yeah,
so
his death was not completely in vain or whatever. Yeah, with what he was able to do before he was offed by the boss or whatever, it's like, oh man, it's like, in a way, it actually reminds me of what happened with Kakyoin or whatever. It's kind of similar to that in a way, where it's like we have Abakio like using like he was able to finish the replay in time, so that even after he was killed by the boss, he was still able to help Bruno and everybody else in the gang or whatever, just so that they'll be able to find the boss. And then Kakyoin, with the last of his stand energy, he was able to use Hereford Green, just so that he can give Joseph like a hint on what Dio's stand ability truly is, before he passed on.
Yeah. He gave them the vital clue.
Exactly.
So that was at least nice. So then, now I know, after we watched this episode, we both took like a couple minutes break, after that, just because like before we started recording this discussion, and it was like in between there, I saw a tweet that someone actually posted. So right at the end of the episode, where we see, before you get that final shot of Abakio lying within the clouds, you see, the sun is setting, on that coast, and you see, the bed of flowers, which I'm assuming that is where Abakio's, that's where they rested Abakio, and Giorno probably created this bed of flowers, to basically, for his resting place.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen on this one Twitter post, someone actually pointed out, and if that is the case, then holy fuck, David Production, goddamn you and your research. Those specific flowers, it looks like those flowers that Giorno possibly sprouted, those look like they're called yellow sultans. And in the language of flowers, yellow sultans stand for strong will and loneliness.
Oh wow.
So it's like
Shit.
son of a bitch. It's like,
oh my
god. That is like the flower that personifies Abakio right there. I mean, granted, yes, we don't see any sprouting, but I think, given the fact that we haven't seen these flowers before anywhere throughout this episode, I think it's safe to say that, yeah, this Giorno left this for Abakio. I think it's pretty safe to say for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like, my god, man, I was like, I would say, like, not only is this easily the saddest death in JoJo now, definitely, Caesar's definitely been usurped at this point, but I think, god damn it, I think this is my favorite episode so far.
Oh man.
I mean, holy fucking shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some great episodes prior to this, but oh my god, I was like, it's just not the same.
Yeah, we were both really invested into this one. I think this is the most invested we've ever been throughout this anime adaptation of Ventoreo.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, some of my other favorite episodes, I would say, King Crimson's introduction, Gaucho versus Giorno and Mista, that was a great set of episodes. Train Fight was a great set of episodes, but I believe I also even mentioned, the episode that introduced Moody Blues, where we got Abakio's backstory. That was another one of my favorite episodes. And it's like, god damn it, man. It's like, so Abakio's backstory was one of my favorite moments, and now Abakio's death is quite possibly my favorite moment. At least right now, because I don't know what David Production has planned for the upcoming 10 episodes after this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. I mean, it's like no, right? I mean, I know the both of us. We know what's coming. So I'm real curious now. I mean, it's like if this is the level of detail that they gave for Abakio, I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing later on.
Yeah, really.
But I think suffice it to say, right now, this is my favorite episode so far.
Right.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. Is there really anything else that we need to bring up about this episode?
No. I think we pretty much covered what we needed to cover this time around.
Alrighty then. So, as far as next week goes, we got another recap. And I think suffice it to say, this is going to be the last recap. So it's everything from King Crimson up until this point. And, you know, honestly, out of all the recaps, this actually is probably the best time to actually even do a recap. Because it's like, yeah, pretty much from this episode onward, I mean, it's like, yeah, we are heading towards the end here. Like, we're going to, like, you know, the last location where, you know, multiple things start happening. So, I mean, we're starting to wind down here. I mean, it's like, so, yeah, pretty much, next week is like, it's going to be like 28.5 or something. It's going to be another recap episode. So, yeah, no need to really, like, you know, do anything there. So, yeah, suffice it to say, next Golden Wind Geek Out will be 2 weeks from now with episode 29. And, my God, it's like 10 episodes left until we're done. This is gonna come so goddamn quick.
God, it's like, no, seriously, again, here I am thinking, oh God, there's 10 episodes left. And already I'm thinking to the first moment the both of us, like, started watching this series in October. It's like,
I know,
God damn it, time is going by too fast, and I don't like it.
I know, it's like, it does feel like, you know, we'd only just hit the halfway point, and it's like, no, we are like 3/4 into it now. We are almost done. So it's like, God damn it, man. That's like, I mean, yeah, these next 10 episodes are gonna come up. They're gonna fly so fast.
Yep, they sure are. If Abakio's death wasn't an indicator that this is when shit is about to really go down, I don't know what will.
Alrighty, but yeah, that's pretty much the only thing left. Really, was, you know, okay, recap next week. No Geek Out next week, so we'll be doing the next Geek Out 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, kind of like what happened with the moment when King Crimson fisted Bruno and such. Oh yeah, after seeing Abakio's death, we're gonna need another vacation. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it's like, and it also kind of, and I guess it also just kind of fell very conveniently because it's like, you know, so even though we won't be getting a Golden Wind Geek Out next week, Volume 4 of our reading of Vento Aureo will be up next week. So you do have that to look forward to if you're interested.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Yeah, so it's like, I think that's like the second time that's actually happened. But but suffice it to say, you know, yeah, I hope you guys aren't, like, you know, too downtrodden after this, you know. So join us in 2 weeks for episode 29, whatever that title may be.
All right, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. You guys have a good one.